So the first question says, it's private. What's the title of the book you said you are teaching from? And please, where can I find it to buy? Okay, the title of the book is 8 Paradigms You Need to Shift. I'm not sure if you can see me. You should be able to see me somewhere here. It's 8 Paradigms You Need to Shift. How can you get it? I think we're going to do something. We're going to do a very interesting deal for the community. After lockdown, we'll organize how people can pick or how people can send. Normally, we'll sell it for 5,000 naira, but for people in this community, I've been told to stop doing this kind of things, but you can pick it for 2,000 naira. So we'll organize for how you get it. I'm actually, I can be motivated to do it for free. I'm sure people are in diaspora as well. They're not in Nigeria thinking, how can we get? But essentially, we make it available. There's an e-copy as well, so you can get the e-copy as well. Okay, so that's the book. Somebody's asking, as a startup scale, how do we build up our little money to get big? Example of mini businesses. Okay, so I get these kind of questions regularly, and I think we're surrounded by business. I think business surrounds us, and I'm being, I don't want to push you or drag you in any direction. I think we are regularly surrounded by opportunities, and I think what we need to be doing is look and say, how can I be a problem solver? How can I add value? There are plenty of opportunities. So if you saw the link that you already read, something was shared there about eggs. Egg is not my business, but I have seen a problem. So I've seen a problem that eggs are not getting to people that want eggs. People want eggs. They are getting it at expensive prices. Meanwhile, these eggs, I went to price egg in the place I went to, I usually buy groceries near my house. And the man said 1 crate of eggs was 1,300. So I told him, can I supply you? I can supply you for 850. And the guy said, hey, how? And I said, yeah, I can supply you. And he said, well, he will have loved to buy from me, but he buys from his landlord, the person that gave him the shop. I said, no problem. I will supply your landlord. Be buying at the price they're buying from him. Let me supply your landlord. And I've asked a few questions around and I realized, wait, people don't mind. I brought in some crates and I realized very quickly, people are showing interest, even though we wanted to give out. But people are like, I want to buy, I'm interested. So I realized, okay, good. So maybe this is something we can experiment and see. What am I doing? I've seen a problem. I've seen an opportunity, and I'm trying to create a system that allows you to create value for me and create for value for as many people as want to be in that chain as well. What am I saying? I'm saying, so COVID-19, we were making herbal bitters, we were doing variants, we were doing a variety of things. As soon as this came up, we realized, wait, hand sanitizers. Before lockdown, we had done hand sanitizers in sales over a few, over 10 million. Not big. But we saw the opportunity. Like, wait, people need this. Let's do this. And we're done it to push it out, for it to happen within the Green Monday network. So essentially, there are lots of businesses you can do. It's about looking for opportunity, looking for problems, looking for partners, looking for people to collaborate with. So one of the key essential streams that we drive here is about distributorship. So we have a system of distributorship where you can become distributors for some of the products that we drive. And that's gradually morphing into a lot more as well. Face masks, we've done, people are selling face masks already. We have a few things going on in those directions as well. And there's a lot more that's possible. So essentially, look around you, have an attitude to say, how can I solve a problem? What problem can I solve? And then once you choose what you want to do, be focused on it and drive it to a logical conclusion. Drive it consistently until it bursts. Okay. What is important is my cash flow. Yes. I clearly see I have been financially stupid. Somebody saying he has been financially stupid. Receive sense in Jesus' name. Can someone not start cash flow with small funds and increase cash flow gradually? Can someone not start cash flow with small funds? Yeah, that question is not very clear. I think everything that will become big will start small. I think small is good. I tell people I like it when you start small, because when you crash, not if you crash, many times you crash is expected. You are able to pick yourself up and dust yourself and keep on going because you are familiar with small. But if all you're familiar with is big, then once you crash and you go under, you'll be looking for one big person to support you to start, and it'll be difficult to start. So small is good. So somebody can start small with small funds and increase the cash flow gradually. Remember, I said level 5 there, you see C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus C5. And I said aggregating that money together gives you comfort and confidence to attract more income. So by virtue of doing the reserves and doing the savings, something is changing internally in you that makes you a more valuable person. I tell people empty bags don't stand upright. And I say knowledge needs to fill the bag for it to stand. Another thing that needs to fill the bag is a consistent habit of creating reserves. So you can start small and grow it big. You can start small, but usually I tell people, if you are doing business, whatever cash flow you have should be plugged back into the business. We shared with, we listened to Mr. Kunle Ogunmoju on Saturday tell us that they started the farm with 1,000 birds. Today, they have 600,000 birds. They didn't get extra financing. They started with 1,000 birds. They made some money from the 1,000 birds. They plugged it back in. Made some money from 1,000 birds, plugged it back in. Made some money from the more birds, plugged it back in. By the time you do that, you become attractive to people who want to give you money. And once you become attractive to people that want to give you money, then they can begin to talk to you about money. But if you have not taken what you have and look for a way to compound it, it's not going to happen. So I tell you, if what you have is small, let your sweat join that energy. If you want to invest, for example, I tell people, you want to invest in some of, I don't like an investor who just drops money and walks away. If you want to invest in something that you know this is still early days, it wants to grow, then you need to try to look for a way, an angle where you can add value to it as well. If the money is small, it needs to have your value in it. If you tell you bring 50,000 naira, you'll be getting interest. How much interest will 500,000 naira, 50,000 naira give you? That will be passive income. If you do a 5%, let's even go 20%. That was possible at a particular time. Let's go 20%. 20% of 500,000 is how much? 100,000 divided by 12. That's 8,000. Will 8,000 naira per month be able to do anything for you? Not likely. You probably need to add a few zeros to make it make sense. Okay, so essentially you can start small, but if what you have is small, then be involved in it. Thank you, sir. With a view of cash abuse, what's your opinion of saving and investing? To get the amount of funds needed to invest, like you thought, it may take a while for us to snowball, but saving to get to a point without investing could make one lose out of investment opportunities. So here's my take. Like I think I've already shared a little bit of the dimension of this take with you in a bit. So what you want to do is you want to ensure that if you have a little, you can save. Okay, there are savings you can do, there's insurance you can do, there are things you can put the value in that are long-term in inclination. You can even buy things that have capital gain. So typically I'll say if you are working and you're making money, you probably have a cooperative you belong to as well. Save. Get the cooperative, get the time to get a loan or be the one take the value you have, buy land, take whatever, build. Remember, many of the things you call assets are not assets, so you're not building so that you can live inside. You're building, asking yourself, what does the market need? What do people want to rent? The average person in society today is middle class or lower middle class. That's where you have the bulk numbers. What is selling amongst them is 2-bedroom apartments because that's where they move to when they move up in life. Where they start from is 1-bedroom apartments because that's where they are when they are not married. So 1-bedroom studio apartments are for the low people. Once they get enough money, they move to 2-bedroom apartments. Can I buy a 2-bedroom apartment? Now, I cannot live in a 2-bedroom apartment, but I can build it because people will need it. Now, if I'm thinking that way, I can gradually accrue the value I have into doing those kind of assets. I can plan it in a place where it's easy for me to offload as well, gain capital and move away. So yes, savings is good, but there needs to be a goal. So as you're accruing, I tell people, make sure it's an escrow account. When I say escrow, we don't have formal escrows like that in Nigeria, but it's an account that you have a rule, maybe with your spouse, maybe with a financial advisor. You have a rule, a tripartite or a duplicate rule to say, whenever we want to take money out of this, it will not be because we want to solve family problem. It will not be because we want to pay house rent. The money that goes out from here must go out into an investment that we are building it for. I don't know if that clarifies your question. So yes, I need to take it away for myself. The insurance offers a few opportunities. They tell you in this insurance savings, you need to keep on putting money there, putting the money there. You can't take it out until after 5 years. You can't take it out after 10 years. Or if you belong to a cooperative, you do 1 million, everybody does 1 million, you pack, you do something substantial, you wait for your turn again, you keep on building on it gradually. The idea is you realize I cannot just be saving and some crisis will come and take it. I need to ensure it's in an escrow so that it goes exactly into what I want to go when it's time. Okay. Is it wise to keep your cash flow in a reliable cooperative waiting for the investment, then take a loan from the cooperative to invest when the desirable investment comes? Bang. I think I answered your question. What is your advice to someone with a mega cash flow? Since you said 500,000 naira is too small for financial investment. Okay. Sorry if that offends anybody. That's not my intention. I'm saying that 500,000 naira is too small for you to keep somewhere and expect that it will be what will take care of you. It's not that it is too small. 500,000 naira, every money is good money. 5,000 naira is good money. 3,000 naira is good money. There's no money you give me that I will refuse. Okay, but what I'm saying is, people have 500,000 naira and they say, "Can you be giving me 50,000 naira per month?" I'll give you. We are setting up ourselves to be defrauded. We're setting up ourselves to lose the money. So I'm saying, be sure that 500,000 naira is not big enough to be what you will retire on. You cannot retire if you have 500,000 naira. If you have 5 million, you cannot retire. I'm sorry, in today's numbers. So what you want to do is you want to ensure that whatever money you have is going into a place where you can accrue it, where it can grow, and where it may not lose value. So you can put it in savings. Know that it's growing. If it's fetching you 5%, 8%, 10% interest, 20% interest, that's fantastic. You want to invest in a company, in a startup, you can invest in a startup. Okay? The banks that put 20 million naira in InterSwitch 16 years ago got 25 billion out of it this last year. Okay? People that put money in, I mean, number of companies like that, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, you can look at them. You find a startup company that is doing well, that has good prospects, looks like whatever in the future, I can participate in this. You look at something like Nestle. Nestle over the years, I remember when Nestle was 50 kobo. I can't remember. I can see my parents' share certificates of when it was 50 kobo. I saw it when it was 1,000. Okay? Capital gain has happened to something that is reliable. I'm not looking at it for capital gains. How much is it? No. I'm looking at it for year on year. They are paying their dividends, is growing in value. I'm not trading. I'm not studying textbooks to know when to buy, when to sell. You put your kind of resource in that kind of place and be willing to wait the long haul. So the idea is, yes, 500,000 naira will be small for you to retire on, but you can continue to accrue it so that it can gain value. The lady that left $7 million, I think her investment was less than $10. That created that in over 80 years. Yeah, that's the other story. How can a man whose wife earns more than him be able to have a healthy cash flow if the wife insists that the man of the house, he needs to constantly provide for the needs of the house and not be a bother to her? So I'd like to recommend that you listen to the audio that we did on financial transparency. Please listen to that audio. It's in the groups. I shared it in the groups. Listen to that financial transparency of how husband and wife should work together. Husband and wife are not different from each other. They may not have joint accounts. They must have joint accounting. The goal of financial freedom is not the goal of husband or wife. It's the goal of husband and wife. The two have become one, according to my learning, according to the good book, and according to the Bible. The two have become one. So as one, and if the two are not one, then you need another meeting on how the two can become one. Okay? There's another one we did before then, which I will share if you ask for it in the group, on emotional transparency. So I can share for you for emotional transparency. I can share for you for financial transparency on how you can work together as a team. Together each achieves more. One, which is 1,000. One, which is 1,000. If two people are living together and they are still 1-1, they will chase 2,000. But when the two become one, they will chase 10,000. So what you want to do is ensure that you're working as a team. And then the man of the house will be the man of the house. The woman of the house will be the man of the house. You put your resources together and trust God to help you have increase. I wish I have heard this 25 years ago. Will this shift work for mature people? Okay, thank you very much for observing that. Now, for mature people, I tell people, will you be alive in 20 years' time? Do you intend to be alive in 20 years' time? If you intend to be alive in 20 years' time, then it's not too late. Okay, it's not late. Even young people, you'll be amazed at how young people rush and they feel as if life is going to end at 40. Life doesn't end at 40. At 40, if God grants you grace and you have more lives to see, you probably have more years ahead to live. So plan for those years. So yes, if you have 20 years, 15 years to go on the calendar of the clock of life, plan. Educate your children, educate people around you. The best thing that you can do at this age as well is add value to the coming generation and make some preparation, with the amount of time that you have to create some value. I think those are the options for those people in that space. And then look at, what do I have already? And how can I begin to restructure it? I've gone to a house before. Somebody built a house in Ikeja, GRA. It's a 10-bedroom apartment. It used to be classy about 30 years ago. It used to be the gathering place of the who is who, the high and mighty. And why was I invited to the house? I was invited with a team of people to look at the house with the possibility of breaking it down into 4 apartments. Okay? Because even the building, the husband and the wife have parts of the building they've not been in years. How many how many rooms can a man live in? You know, not many rooms. So you must be able to learn how do I recreate what I have into what becomes useful? Okay, good. Very good question, my brother. It says COVID-19 is threatening financial freedom with lots of shifts to the established financial securities. Majors are filing bankruptcy and financial institutions are losing their investments. What is your take on how to thread going forward? So here's what I think. I think one of the things that must happen to our portfolio is our portfolio must be diversified. For the last 12 years, my conversation around this topic has been not in one country, not in one industry, not in one bank account. Okay? And I think the same rule still holds. It's not in one country, not in one industry, not in one bank account. I think these are times when to look at your portfolio again and begin to shift in the direction of what does it look like the future trend will be. And I think the future trend is clear. Future trend is that man has realized that the bigger war than nation against nation is disease against man. No country of the world has found himself prepared for the health challenges that are going on in the world today. So the world is likely to overcompensate for the current reality it finds itself, because something can come up tomorrow, something can come out there tomorrow. So the threat of the possibility of what can happen in this space becomes something to defend itself against. So you'll find a lot of skew and overcompensation in that space. So if my portfolio is liquid enough and diverse enough, then I need to be able to say, how can I begin to make shifts to happen in that space? How can I begin to make shifts to happen in a lot more online work is going to go on. So technology that encourages and aids people to go online to do stuff from remote distances will begin to gain more value. Someone just told me about a business that received not long ago a $5 million investment because they're doing educational materials that are online, giving people dongles, allowing students to be able to operate from their home on their laptops to interface with JAMB, WAEC in Nigeria. Okay, and I'm sure those kind of things are going on around the world as well. So today I can see a lot of, there's a push into the space where I can have a little bit of autonomy on my currency. Because, for example, today Nigeria is saying I cannot transfer money out of the country except it's coming out of the country. The countries are locking their borders even financially. So I need to be intelligent enough to say, you know what, am I diversified already? Can I begin to use my diversification to allow my liquidity to move in other directions? Or do I need to, in the reality of COVID-19, reassess myself and realize that I was once free, but now I'm bound? And now I need to reset myself and ask myself, what can I begin to do going forward? And begin to look at the portfolios that I can begin to build in the various directions that look like the trends of the future. So I need to be intelligent. I need to be aware. Friends need to begin to connect with friends. Multiple need to mix together to be able to look at what is going on, what will happen, and how can we participate. There's a link I shared with you with Patil's gang where Bismarck Rwani was sharing something very interesting. And I think what he shared was very short but profound. And he said, look, the way out for Nigeria is foreign exchange. How we index our foreign exchange, and then how you access foreign exchange, and the incentives we give to push people to have foreign exchange, of which is export, manufacturing. Our dependency on oil cannot go on the way it currently is. The numbers don't make any sense. So we must find other things to make, we must find other things to drive. And in a bit to find other things to make and drive, the government needs to take the responsibility of providing a playing platform that allows people who are doing the things that bring the country income to be supported to become the next millionaires and billionaires. There is phenomenal opportunity at this time as much as there's phenomenal damage and challenges. So what you want to begin to do at this time is ask, how can I rebalance my portfolio and begin to move more in the direction of the things that the trend of the future will be the trends of the future. Okay, collaboration and going with a big bank is always key. Okay, good one from the Green Club. So very, very importantly, yeah, collaboration is crucial. So 1 + 1 + 1, we can do a lot more together. And that's one of the things we're trying to do here as well, to say, and I'll tell you very quickly, many things are not very clear in exactly how they'll be. The idea of even pulling us together to ensure that development is happening and people are learning, is inspired. Okay, the direction that everything will grow and how it will flow, it will catch up with us. The fundamental fulcrum on which this is built is what I call our happy community. We do meetings, we do whatever, we celebrate, we do a variety of things. There's a new normal today, and that new normal says we probably will not have people gather together the way they've ever gathered before. A lot of that will reduce. A lot of people awareness will go to certain things. Certain industries will be hit, certain will be developed. We need to look at the cash flow that is currently accessible to us and begin to channel it in the right directions. What is your take on building versus buying a house? I think building, it depends on the time you have. I don't think there's a problem with buying. I think we can buy and remodel. I think building is good as well. I think the key thought that helps you demystify that is, what are you doing it for? So people want to build when they are building their own houses. They feel, it's my house. I want to be involved in building it. But if houses are not being bought, then people are building them to sell them. How are they making their money? So for me, it's an equation of value. What do I want to do? I want to get passive income. I want to get rental income. I want to get XYZ. What's the value they're selling to me? If I remodel it, can I remodel this house I'm buying into 2 houses? Can it generate more than 5% for me? Can I create more value? If I don't have the emotional sentiment of it's my house, then it doesn't matter. Okay, most of the houses that I've been involved in, I didn't build any of them. Okay, I bought. Insurance. With the COVID-19 pandemic and the change around the world, is it safe to invest in insurance? Good evening and many thanks. So there are different kinds of insurance opportunities, and I think this kind of times hit badly on insurance if it is if it has to do with something that is like a direct catastrophe, life insurance and those kind of things. Unfortunately, in our own climes, I'm not sure you have major hits on that, because our numbers, I pray they don't get worse, but our numbers are really not numbers if you compare it to what is already happening with hunger, malaria, typhoid, and the other challenges that we have. Around the world, insurance will take a big hit. 20,000 people have died in the UK in the last 5 weeks. That's huge. Those are huge numbers. But there's a lot of also government support to ensure that things are cushioned. There's a lot of interventionist funds that are coming in to ensure that things are balanced. Nobody planned for this. Every country is trying to build themselves out and look good. So when I say insurance, I'm talking about the insurance that, savings insurance. And I think there are a lot of very solid institutions that can be viable that way as well. Same thing that is insurance, we hit banks as well. So banks also, am I doing business? Am I liquid? Can I have this? I've invested in businesses. Many of the bank's monies has gone into businesses. If businesses are hit, banks are hit. Everything goes around and comes around. But as we begin to quickly get out of this space and recover, and I think it's going to take some time. I think our release on Monday is not a release. I think on Monday is catch and release. I think we're going to be let go for a while. The numbers will be announced. It will look like it's a wrong decision. I will come back home. Okay, that's, forgive my morbid analysis, but I feel that's the kind of play. I can see that already happening in Ghana. I suspect the same thing will happen. I think we need the freedom to be able to at least let people breathe and then pull them back in and say, guys, let's use sense to do this thing. We still need some level of lockdown that is significant. So, but the world will recover from this. This will pass. And as this passes, you want to ensure that you are steering your resources and your value in the direction where it counts. We cannot do without insurance. Insurance has come to stay. At the backbone of businesses that will thrive will be insurance value as well. So I believe that we'll still get value from that space as well. Now, I said this was going to be 1 hour, and I've driven past 1 hour. Because I'm the one answering the questions and the one doing the talk today, I may get myself into a long conversation if I don't stop it here. Somebody says, I'm enjoying this from real life experience. What you heard from Mr. last Saturday and what you're saying now, I guess my way forward is to be a value adder. Yes, sir. So I think I can pause it at this point. Somebody says, please explain the process flow map a little. I will explain it in one of the sessions we'll cover in the days to come. Thank you very much, everybody, for being around today. I think it's a good place to, pull the plugs today and let us close today's meeting so that the recording doesn't become too long. I can see some people are still trying to enter. Maybe they were locked out. I don't know. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. I think it's a good place to hang the books today. Next week, Monday, we're going to continue on the paradigms of money. Saturday is a big meeting. Let's pull people into our communities and grow the community, and then we'll send the link, and then let's have an explosive meeting. Please come ready to learn. There's a lot you can learn from me. There's a lot I'm learning from the person that I'm introducing to learn from. So please, let's make the most of that meeting. And remember, today our conversation is, your income is not the most important thing. It's not that important. What's important is your cash flow. Thank you very much, everybody, today. It's been my pleasure. Let me put that off.